Hi, and welcome to NFL Football Fuck Around. I'm Nate Dunaway from Late Afternoon with Nate Dunaway. And this is Timmy Hix, world's biggest Cowboys fan. Today, Timmy, I think we're going to be talking a little Timothy Richard Tebow. Some of you might know.
Tebow time in Dallas. That's what I'm saying right now.
Tebow was released by the Jets. We're going to be talking about if we think he'll be a fit with the Dallas Cowboys. Timmy, why don't you start us out?
Okay, first off, we need to break down what makes Tebow not a good fit for pretty much every team in the NFL. We'll go and just start off there. First off, he's got to be in a situation where he's behind a veteran quarterback to where he can just learn, develop, learn that throwing skill, just become a refined NFL quarterback.
With no controversy, right?
No controversy.
Controversy we saw last year.
Exactly. With Sanchez, a situation like that ain't going to work. And there's other veteran teams that won't kind of put up with that circus. But when we talk about the circus and how that's a problem, well, we're the Dallas Cowboys. We love the circus. We invite the circus. Jerry Jones is the ringmaster, for God's sakes. Exactly. Terrell, it doesn't matter if we're in the media. That's all that matters to Jerry. We can go 2-14, but if we're in the media, that's all Jerry cares about. He wants to keep making money. He's got to get paid for that big old stadium somehow. And hey, Tebow will still draw fans. People will show up to see the man play. He is a sort of an iconic figure in a way.
So that's your first point on Tebow. You think him coming into a situation where Tony Romo's there, he's got this huge contract.
Exactly, huge contract. $108 million for everyone who doesn't know again.
You think that'll be good for Tebow?
I think it will be because of the fact of the matter is that when he comes into Dallas, he can learn. He has no pressure to play at all this year because if Tony Romo goes out there next year and throws 30 interceptions, he's going to throw all of them in every 16 games. He is $55 million guaranteed. Now, you do the numbers there, that means for 4 to 5 years, Romo is going nowhere. Jerry Jones has said Tony Romo is the man in Dallas, highest paid Cowboy of all time. So we live and die by him. When it comes time down how the game's going, if Romo's playing bad, it's not going to be, should we put Tebow in? It's going to be, Romo's got to get this fixed. We live and die by the man. Love it, hate it, let's embrace it. He's our guy.
On the flip side, what I would contend is that in today's NFL, you can't have a guy on your roster who's dead money. So essentially, you're saying you would bring in Tebow, pay him the salary of a backup quarterback, $1-2 million maybe.
No, I'm not saying
But he's not going to play. I mean, the Dallas Cowboys were always strapped for cash.
Very true.
We can barely afford to pay the salaries of the guys we do have. So now we're going to bring in a new guy who hopefully doesn't play. If he's making any more than the league minimum to me,
well, that's where I feel Romo.
The contract.
Romo needs to be said. Well, no, honestly, take that back. $1-2 million for a guy with his skill set. I think we can find value in that.
For Tebow, for me, it's too much.
I think Tebow could be worth $1-2 million. Second point I would make is like we talked about just a second ago, the circus. Everyone talks about the circus and how it's just he comes into town and everyone's like Tebow this, Tebow that. Well, like I said, the Cowboys, we love that. You have Tebow in there, and we're already going to get 20 more reporters in our camp that day. That's a good thing, and Jerry's asked for the Dallas Cowboys. As long as we're at the forefront of the NFL, that's all that matters. And Tebow gives that to us. We have two of the most scrutinized quarterbacks in the league today when you have Tony Romo and Tim Tebow. We're gonna give interesting stuff for everyone to talk about.
There'd be no shortness of controversy. My problem with that is, these last few years especially, I think we've had too much of a circus in Dallas. And I think if you ask some of the players, they'd say, well, we just want to come in and play football.
I don't buy that. We're the Cowboys.
I think they're tired of the expectations. I think they're tired of the media. I think they like the expectations in terms of playing. But I think that a lot of these players, they're sick of the Dallas Cowboys being a media product, and they want the Dallas Cowboys to be a football team.
But that's what comes along with wearing that star. We are the playboys of the NFL. We are not the Pittsburgh Steelers. We are not the New England Patriots. The triplets back in the day, they were flashy. They talked about it.
Don Meredith.
Good guy. I mean, Roger the Dodger Staubach. I mean, Troy Aikman, Michael Irvin, Drew Pearson, Tony Dorsett. These guys were playboys. They were not. We were the Lakers, per se, the Yankees of the NFL.
But I'd argue lately, too many stars in the helmet, not enough stars in the field. That's what they need. But let's continue. So what else? What else do you think makes Tebow a fit for the Cowboys?
Another fit is bring up our offensive line. If you break down the Cowboys roster, the only really outside of some depth issues, the only really bad part of our team is that horrendous offensive line. I'm a former offensive lineman myself.
As
And
am
those
I.
guys,
What'd you play?
I played offensive guard.
I played center.
So there you go. They're awful.
No,
I mean,
a little bit.
Tyron Smith. I love him. He's great. He's good. Loving him. But one doesn't. There's 5 of those guys. We gotta have more than one.
Yeah.
And Kyle Orton, solid guy. Nothing against him. He's put up some decent numbers in this career, but he's a sitting duck behind the offensive line. He's gonna get murdered.
That's true. Not
At least
Kyle
Tebow
Orton,
can kind of get out
not
of the pocket.
known for his mobility. Let's be
Tebow, I
honest.
feel like he can get out of the pocket. He can do some nice things with the weapons we have in Dallas. That Des Bryant is a beast. I just tell Tebow, throw the ball up as high as you can.
So you're hoping we have Tony Romo. You're hoping that Tebow can come in and almost be our Steve Young, Michael Vick, our kind of mobile left-hander.
Yes, sir.
Breaks the pocket, makes
That's
things
what we got to
happen.
develop him into. Yes, sir.
I would argue that those guys you mentioned, Romo, you mentioned Michael Vick, you mentioned Steve Young, all those guys, they're scramblers, but they have more what they call it in the NFL now. This is the big buzzword: arm talent. And Timothy Tebow, say what you will about him, maybe has one throw his entire career. That throw versus the Steelers in the playoffs.
In the playoffs in overtime, by the way.
And overtime, yeah.
And that won the game.
That you look at, that you really say, wow, that was a nice throw. And then you have a million throws where it's going in the dirt, it's sailing over the guy's head. The quarterback's coach is catching it, looking around like, is he throwing to me? So I would, it's great to have a scrambler in today's league, but
he does all that until the fourth quarter.
until the fourth quarter.
He does show up then.
I would contend you need a guy who in quarters 1 through 3 that not only can he get out of the pocket, but he can throw the ball.
I got your
hit
solution
his
right.
receivers
Hey,
once
I got
he
your
gets
solution
out of the
right
pocket.
there. Romo's terrible in the fourth. We got Romo for 3 quarters, and Tebow will come in and close the deal for us.
So you let
There's
Romo,
my solution.
You let Romo be your 75%er.
Exactly. 3 quarters, Romo's great.
Tebow, maybe just bring him in for overtime.
Yeah,
Overtime game.
Crunch time, exactly. Love
Sorry,
it.
Romo, you're cut. Bring in
So
Tebow.
the $1-2 million. Well, now it's worth it. We
and
have
then he
a closer.
makes one brilliant throw to Des Bryant.
We're gonna make him. We're gonna make him the Mariano Rivera of football for quarterbacks in football. That's what we're gonna do for Tim Tebow.
All right, we'll see. So you mentioned a little bit of strategy. You mentioned the O-line in general, just the scrambling. Situationally wise, how do you think that we could use Tim Tebow in order to capitalize on some things that the Cowboys have been
Another
bad
thing I
at?
have really brought up is last year. I've said it 9 times. We were terrible on short yardage. Even with DeMarco Murray, we'd have 3rd and 2s where I'm thinking, all right, easy first down, 3rd and 1, easy first down. Let's move the chains.
4th and inches.
Yes, and then we'd get stopped every time. Tebow, he's built like a fullback or a tight end. He is a very good runner. He is a good runner. He has got decent vision. You put an extra blockers out there in front of the man. I don't care if he averages 3 yards a carry. That's all I need him to get.
Power play where you
That
pull
one,
the guard.
that gator, that play he ran for
Yeah.
Florida over
Yep.
and over again. I understand it makes teams are gonna know what's coming, but there's been plenty of people when they used to put in certain players that you know what's coming. Well, that's where offense line, that's where our team has to get through it. And I mean, that's part of football.
This is something, I kind of agree with you. Tebow has been good in those situations. I would contend, though, that any decent running back, you put him in there with that extra blocker, you run that power play, he's going to pick up those conversions at a pretty good clip. I don't know if that's a Tebow-centric thing. He's very good at it. But I think that's a thing where, you put DeMarco Murray in that situation, extra blocker, power play, 1 yard to get. Our problem on a lot of these plays is, we have Romo in, we're trying to get 1 yard. Quarterback's a wasted player in that situation. So why not, if we're to go all out and do that Wildcat type look, hey, put in DeMarco Murray, power back, a little more juice
But
than Tebow.
Tebow can't throw that well, but he can still throw somewhat. So if he's in the game, you still have to contest for. He could try to throw one over the top. And we have enough athletic receivers that if Dez gets open, he's got to get it in his vicinity.
He could try to throw it.
And Dez can track that down.
Very good chance it ends up in the dirt, though. But.
Maybe not. Or we may get the play from from Pittsburgh, 83 yards in a cloud of dust.
Hey, you never know. Well, you say yes. I say no. I personally think Tebow will never be an effective NFL passer, never be an effective NFL quarterback, never will probably make another roster. I think the next time we see Timothy Richard Tebow, he's a U.S. Senator. you think we could see him playing for the Dallas Cowboys as early as this season?
I think it would be a good fit for us. I mean, if it doesn't work out, that's fine. You don't know if you try. And all I gotta say is, what happens? What's the worst? If it works, what's the worst thing that happens? He goes there 2 years, we cut him. What's the best thing happen? He turned into a solid football player that's now on our football team.
It's true. All I'm saying is, I'm glad it's Jerry Jones writing the checks and not me.
Do it,
I think
Jerry.
we can both agree on that.
Yeah. Yes, absolutely.
It's not our money, right?
Jerry, you have plenty of money. Don't worry about it, buddy. Just do it.
Hey, Jerry, it's your coin. Whatever you want to do. But, hey, what do you guys think?